One of the trickiest things for Apex players to nail down is their fights off drop. Try as you might to land the least contested area you can, you still might have to fight a team off drop. So hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and today I'm going to be diving into VODs of mine to show you how I deal with contesting teams and even what to do when you get third-partied after fighting them. And you guys love tips and tricks, right? And YouTube videos are good for that, and we will be making more of them in the future, but our website goes much more in depth than any other channel out there. We do specific breakdowns on legends, mindset, how to get better aim, tips and tricks, and a lot more that will be getting new content constantly. So click the link in the description and go get your membership right now. So the first video that I want to show is one from a game of ranked where I was in a duo stack. So I want to show that you don't have to be in a full 3 stack. You can do this as a duo, you can do this as a single. It doesn't matter, you can always fend off attackers when you have to. In this one, we're on World's Edge, we're dropping into Climatizer. Now, Climatizer is a pretty good spot to fight in if you're in a contested situation because it does have a lot of loot that's spread out, so you have a lot of different options in what you want to play. It also has a lot of really good rotations in and out. You've got zip lines, you've got balloons pretty close, you have survey camp really close, you have epicenter really close. So even if you get fought off of your loot, off your drop spot, you have good rotation. Heck, you can even go into overlook if you have to. So there are a lot of options in this game. As I'm diving down, I'm looking around. I want to see who's coming with us. And as I turn around, I see this glob of people behind us. I know that that's not a good thing. I don't want these people coming with us. So I call that out to my team. I say, hey, we have people coming with us. We have people that are going to be contesting us. So we all know that we need to drop relatively close to each other. As we go forward, we can see that one team does end off swerving epicenter, but I'm constantly looking at my drop spot, then turning and looking at them, looking at my drop spot, and you can see that one team does turn around and drop epicenter. So now that we know we have one team over here and one team over here, we have one team coming, one team not coming. As we land, we need to finish this fight as quickly as possible because that epicenter team is looted and coming and wanting to fight as soon as we start fighting. So we need to finish this fight as quickly as possible. So as I land, I'm trying to get a gun that I can use to fight, and then I'm immediately going to be looking if I have a gun. I didn't get a gun, but if I had gotten a gun that I could poke long range with, say I got like a charge rifle or like a rampage, I'd be looking to take shots just to like kind of weaken them up a little bit, make them spend more time healing and less time looting so that they're at a disadvantage for when I get there. And that's something that you need to look to do if you're dropping contested. Try to make them waste as much time as possible so that you can have the advantage when you push them. I don't get a gun, so I'm looking around and I'm frantically searching. I do get an L-Star, but it's not the best gun for poking, so I'm once again looking around. It's not the best if your team all drops in the same building. It would have been a little bit more ideal if one of us had dropped in this little donut building or this donut building, so that we could spread out the loot a little bit more and then rotate to either side to then meet them and then fight. So it's not ideal, but we did think that 2 teams were coming, so it was a little bit late to swerve off by the time that we knew that they weren't 2 teams. So now that we're here, you can see that we're looting around. I do swap to a flatline and a peacekeeper, so I have really good guns to fight with. Right now, we're able to just like get a ton of loot and deny a lot of loot from this enemy team. So now I'm looking to push, I'm looking to fight them. I want to see where they are because once again, this epicenter team is coming and we've taken a lot of time. So now I'm looking to posture up. Valkyrie is really good at being aggressive on teams and taking off angles. So because my team is over here, they're on the other donut, this team I'm hoping sees them first, gets a line of sight on them, and I have a free chance to push the side angle and get an off angle and get free shots and potentially down somebody with a 1 clip on the flat line. So I push this off angle, and as I do, I hear people walking above me. I don't want them to just look down on me because that is a disastrous opportunity. So I call it to my team that people are above me, and I look to take an off angle from over here. I wait for them to push up, I wait for my teammates to get a little bit aggressive so that they're focused on them, and then I Valkyrie jetpack up. I'm just looking for off angles, and then I hop up here. I see that nobody's here, so I climb up onto the side because once again, I'm looking for off angles. I'm looking to gather information. I'm looking to see where teams are, and I don't see anybody. There's nobody here, so I move on. Now that I'm inside, my teammates are fighting. I don't want to be kind of out of the fight and let them die, so I look to kind of push on the side. I do get a lot of damage onto the Ashe and push her into my Wraith, so that was a very easy kill on her. I then hear people behind me and I want to challenge them inside the doorway so that I can take the advantage and close the door if I need to. So I immediately slide out and I'm looking around. Luckily, this Octane went down extremely quickly, only did 50 damage to me. I hear my teammates fighting behind me, so I turn around. I look at this lifeline, I pop a shot off, and I get 3 KP out of this. Now, once again, I know that we are going to get third party. So in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, all right, how long do we have? There was a ping, like an enemy ping. So I do know that they are coming. So as soon as I grab what I need, I hop up onto the roof and I pop a shield cell because right now I have high ground. They initiate this ash portal almost instantly. And I know that that is bad news because right now my teammates are below me. So I have to make one of 2 choices. One, I have to pressure that ash portal so hard that they have no other option but to drop off the roof and get away from me, or I let them take roof and I drop off. I don't want to let teams have high ground on me. I never want to let that happen. That's a really bad option. So I go to pressure the ash portal because I can start shooting them as they come through, and there's that animation where they can't do anything. Now my Horizon is able to get up top. She's right here. And I know that that ash was pretty weak. And there was another one that was coming. So Ash is somewhere over here. There's another one that was over here. So I want to peek over. I did drop back down so that the Ash had to peek me if she was to peek. But because my Horizon pressured her, I now have to peek. And I want to get over top and help my teammate as fast as possible. So we are able to kill the Ash. Somebody's coming through that portal again. It happened to be a Bloodhound. I tried to thermite it so that as soon as they come through the portal, they get hit by the thermite grenade and burn. I wasn't able to time it properly and I do overthrow it, so that's a little bit of a shame. But I do get some nice damage out and I am able to force him off the roof because he gets cracked and we overpower him. Here is where a lot of people would make a mistake. Because I have only 25 shield left, a lot of people would go for like a shield cell because they have gold shields. Some people would sit on the roof and try to fully heal or sit on the roof and peek down. My team was fully committed to this fight and we had the advantage. We have a down, we have the Bloodhound extremely low. So this is where you need to just fully commit. A lot of teams draw out fights because they'll sit on the roof. And if I hadn't have dropped down, would that Bloodhound have been able to get inside? Would we have been able to push them? Would he have been able to heal? That's what draws fights out and that's what allows you to get third party. So here, you fully commit to this fight. I land on him. I do get kind of messed up, so I do miss a couple shots, but we are able to just fully wipe this team and end this fight extremely quickly. It's just one of those things that you need to look at in order to end fights a lot faster than normal and make it so that your team is able to actually survive off drop, fight off third parties, and not get third party once again. Because if we had drawn this fight out any longer, Overlook could be moving in because they heard shots. Survey Camp could be moving in because they heard shots. A team could have gotten pushed out of Fragment West into Epicenter, heard shots, and want to come clean up because they're struggling on loot and third parties are very easy. So there's a lot of options of teams coming in and what we could or couldn't play. So this is just something to keep in the back of your mind when diving on somebody. You need to end fights as quickly as you possibly can. The next clip that I want to talk about is one from a scrim game. So do keep in mind, there's no rank up here because this was scrims. Scrims are in custom lobbies. A lot of people get that confused. This isn't a pub game. This is a scrim lobby. Now, this one I want to go over because this happens when a team lands contested close to you. So there's 2 teams that land in a spot. You don't get contested, but they get pushed out of their spot into your spot before you're done looting. We had all of Lava Siphon to ourselves, so it does take a little bit longer to loot completely. We hear this fight going on and we start to posture up on it because 3 kills is 3 points. We want that points. So as we go forward, you can see that there's a couple of people just kind of in the open. My Caustic is able to pressure some people. He does get a good damage out on the Gibby, but they are very split. The Gibby's right here. The Valkyrie's over here, and we cannot see the third as of right now. So they are extremely split, and there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong when you are split. We force out the Gibby Dome. Valkyrie tries to move up. I do get a little bit of damage out on her, not a whole lot, but it doesn't matter. And there's their third. So they are kind of together now, but they have wasted a huge utility with the Gibraltar bubble. So they posture up behind this rock. My teammates are getting angles. I'm just sitting here because there's no reason for me to overcommit to this. If I have to choose whether to slide down to the side and run across the lava right here, then I'm going to be low ground. I won't have LOS. If I were to drop down on the side down here, I would lose the line of sight for a second and I wouldn't be as useful as I am in this fight. So sometimes keeping your angles and not moving is the best option. So right here, they do try to Valkyrie, but we are able to cancel it. So they are stuck. So we are able to do a ton of damage to the Gibraltar, get the Gibraltar knock, get the Valkyrie cracked, and now I go for the juiciest nade I've hit in the scrim. And crack and knock and everybody's dead, and this is just classic textbook wiping of a squad right here. When a team pressures you like this, all you have to do is just take angles. They're in shambles. If a team rotates in and you're able to cut them off before they're able to get into your drop spot and loot up, they're going to be in shambles. You need to pressure it. They don't have anything to fight with. You need to make sure that you're posturing up, you're taking angles, you're denying them visibility, you're denying them loot, and then you can just easily wipe them, especially if you're able to force out a huge utility like Gibraltar Bubble and cancel Valkyrie ult. Sometimes you won't get the big nade like I did. Most of the time you won't get a big nade like that, but my teammates were taking angles on them. My teammates were posturing up. They were looking to see what they could do. So the nade was just a nice quality of life thing. After this, what I do here is extremely important as well. I start looking for other teams. So I come down here to get a new angle. My team is looting. My team is trying to see what's going on. We do know that they got pushed out of their spot. So I'm looking, I'm trying to take angles. I'm trying to see. I don't immediately hop off for loot. I know if there's loot down there, they'll call it out and I can go and loot later. So I take angles. I hold spots. That's what you need to look to do if your team is already on top of something. If they're looting up, you don't have to loot immediately. Just hold a spot. I have full armor, I have full health, I've got 189 shots on my rampage. I don't need loot. I protect them. I am the watchful eye, and that's something that you need to do. Dropping contested is highly stressful to some people, but when you really break it down and start looking for small things like off angles or people split from their team, those weak links, you start to win a lot more fights over the long run. If you guys enjoyed this video, please let me know by dropping a like, and don't forget to smash that sub button so you don't miss any of our future uploads. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you in the next one.